But it's a real phenomenon based on the Vizier survey that we conducted last month across 2,000 respondents. 30% in this current time are looking at quiet quitting, which means their employers are not getting the best out of them day in, day out. And I suppose we have to address some of the reasons as to why that may be.
Well, yes, that's a fair point. But should the onus on that be on the employee, who, frankly, in this day and age, should be grateful for a job, or to the employer, who's perhaps not looking after their workforce in the way they should?
Yeah, I think it is true. We should be grateful for the jobs that we have. And I think that those jobs, however, the conditions in which people are working, particularly with the cost of living crisis, means is wage inflation keeping up with cost of living crisis. So again, a survey that Vizier conducted in the summer said that 94% of households were struggling to keep up with the cost of living. 79% of those respondents expected their managers, companies to be doing something about it, and only 71% felt that they weren't. So it is a two-way relationship, employer-employee. And highly engaged employees is in every employer's interest to get the very best out of the people working for them. There's a number of factors in which they can do that, obviously, and pay is one mechanism. But understanding your employees, understanding where you meet them individually, where GBNews meets you, Stephen, today, and you, Rosie, today, as individuals, and knowing what makes you both tick, I think is every employer's opportunity to get this right moving forward.
There's also been this real rise in people turning to, I don't really like the phrase, but, a side hustle. Perhaps people are saying, well, I'll just do enough as I need to, but not go further. And if I've got that extra energy, I'm not going to give it to my employer. I'll just do it to serve my own ends and do my own thing on the side. Yeah,
and again, not knowing where that intersects each individual's life as to why they're doing a side hustle. If it is based on the cost of living and their wage in their current job doesn't help them make ends meet, then one could understand why they're having to look externally for a side hustle. And by the way, the side hustle may be outside of their 9 to 5 or contracted hours. It may be they come back at 5 and go and do a second job. So I think what's happening here is the rise of the cost of living is having an impact. Wages need to keep track with that impact. Obviously, that has an impact on profitability for companies. So right-sizing this is not an easy answer. But this is, I think, a real pain amongst the working population. So companies, need to use perhaps tools and technologies such as Vizier, for example, as a way of understanding where their employees are at, down to an individual level, and therefore empowering managers, perhaps managers at scale, to have real conversations with employees around why they might not be feeling engaged, or why they may be struggling, or if they are doing a side hustle, how they can maybe bring more of that productivity into their existing working day in their contracted employment.